What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another adventure here at the Outpost. In today's adventure, we are continuing our DVD and Blu-ray and 4K and Steelbook and whatever have you piece of my collection, and we will be rolling on today with the A's. Now I'm going to keep this intro short and sweet. We're just going to get right into it because we have so many movies and A's to get to. I do want to start with one small caveat, though, and that is that I do consider the single title of A as part of A movies. So, for example, I'll show you the first one here, A Beautiful Mind. Now this ends up in A for me instead of B because A is the beginning of the word and the title of the movie. That's just how I roll in my collection. I know other people are different. Some people might put that in B. That's cool if you do, cool if you don't, whatever have you. I do not extend the same courtesy to the, though. I ignore the whenever I do movies. Again, it's another weird thing. It's just the way I do my movies. I'm fucking weird like that. But anyway, let's just dive right in because we have so many A's to get to. We're going to keep them short and sweet. We're going to gloss right through them. We're going to run through this entire collection. You can already see we're starting there. That's a shitload of movies right there, and that's not even freaking touching it. So let's just dive right in. We've got the aforementioned Beautiful Mind. Russell Crowe, Ron Howard. What can you go wrong? This is a great movie. This is an Academy Award winner. Best Picture. How can you not see it? We've got A Bridge Too Far. I talked about this in my war movie video, so if you want to hear my thoughts on that, you can go check out that video. But it is a good movie. We've got A Bright Shining Light, Bill Paxton, HBO war movie. I actually just picked this up, so I have yet to see it. This is one of the few A movies left in my collection that I have yet to see. But I need to do it because I love me some Bill Paxton. We've got A Bug's Life. Look at that shining little case there, sweet slipcover here. This is amazing, one of my favorite Pixar movies. It's just so good. Even though he's a rat bastard, Kevin Spacey is so good in that movie as the villain Hopper. We've got A Chorus Line. This is a really good movie. I know this definitely flew in under the radar for a lot of people. I know it did for me. It's got Michael Douglas in it, and it's about him as a director for a Broadway play. Yes, that's what it is. That's right. That's what it says. He's a director of a Broadway play, and he's putting together the new musical, and he is auditioning people. It is just it was really good. I did not expect it to be so good, but I was pleasantly surprised. We've got A Christmas Story. Hot take. I know I'm in the minority here. I don't like this movie. Never cared for it. We've got A Cinderella Story. It's a fine enough rom-com. We've got A Civil Action. This is like one of my favorite courtroom dramas ever made. It's phenomenal. John Travolta's the fucking man in it. I think it's the only movie that the writer Steven Zaillian actually directed, too. He is a phenomenal writer. He's made so many great movies. He's written a lot of David Fincher's movies. He is just phenomenal, and this is a really good use of his talents. We've got A Clockwork Orange. This is a really fucked up movie. The people, I forget what they call themselves, the druids or some shit in that movie, they are fucked up people. And they show up in the new Space Jam movie, so Warner Brothers, you fucking weirdos. A Cry in the Dark. Maybe a dingo ate y'all, baby. It's alright. Not the worst, not the best. It's a movie I've seen. The Marx Brothers, blah, 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 A Day at the Races. This is one of their more unsung ones. Doesn't get as big a due as their other ones do. This is really funny. Every single Marx Brothers movie is fucking hilarious. Some more than others. That one not as funny as other ones, but still has a lot of really good shticks in it. A Few Good Men. This is phenomenal. Put Aaron Sorkin on the map. Aaron Sorkin, one of my favorite writers. He is also quickly becoming a very good director with Molly's Game. Oh, Jesus, that just went flying. One of the funniest comedies, A Fish Called Wanda. This movie is fucking hilarious. You should definitely see it if you haven't. It's got a bunch of the Monty Python guys in it. It's really fucking funny. A Fistful of Dollars. Talked about this in my Western collection, so, if you want to hear thoughts, you can go see that one. It's a great Western, though. You should absolutely watch it. If you haven't. A funny thing happened on the way to the forum. This is a really silly comedy. A Good Day to Die Hard, the movie that ruined Die Hard. Ugh. The less said about that, the better. A Good Year. This is alright. I watched it once when it first came out. It's cute. A Goofy movie. Oh, The Goof. It's a classic. You can't go wrong with a Goofy movie. A History of Violence. This movie, definitely very violent. Viggo Mortensen, really fucking good in it. David Cronenberg directed. This is a really good mafia movie. You should watch. A Kiss Before Dying, 80s movie with Matt Dillon, kind of like an erotic thriller. It's not one of the better ones. A Knight's Tale. This is my favorite Heath Ledger movie. He is just so great in this movie. This is one of those movies that's just like enjoyable from start to finish, and you can watch over and over again. It's comfort food, and who doesn't like comfort food? Mark Addy, freaking who else? Rufus Sewell, Paul Bettany, everybody's in that. Alan, my man Alan. A League of Their Own. Oh god, this one of the best sports movies ever made. Put Tom Hanks on the map. Gina Davis, incredible. Madonna, she's there. Rosie O'Donnell. This movie is just fucking phenomenal. One of my favorite movies ever made. A really good romance movie. A Little Romance. This one, I knew nothing about this movie other than it was in my collection. Because me and my stepdad conjoined collections once upon a time, and then he bequeathed it on to me to continue its legacy. So this was one of the ones that was in it. I had a chance to watch it, and it was actually really good. It's a Diane Lane too, young Diane Lane in it. It's a very cute movie. A Mighty Heart. I watched this once when it first came out. It's alright. Nothing too phenomenal. A Million Ways to Die in the West. This is pretty funny. It's got its moments. Not the worst, not the best. Not as good as Ted, but it's solid. One of my favorite Marx Brothers movies is A Night at the Opera. This has so many good, just zany set pieces and really funny one-liners. Like, if you haven't seen Marx Brothers movies, you need to go back into your film history and watch your Marx Brothers, because those guys are the funniest motherfuckers on the face of the planet. We got A Night at the Roxbury, another solid comedy. This is stupid, but it's stupid that hits you right in all the good spots. Like, this movie cracks me up. The Marx Brothers hit again with A Night in Casablanca. This is probably like my least favorite of the ones I've seen of theirs. It's still really funny. It just doesn't hit as high as some of their other ones. It does have a really great set piece towards the end, though, with a suitcase and like in a chick's room. It's just super funny. We got the Nightmare on Elm Street 8-film collection. This is A Nightmare on Elm Street 1 through 5, Freddy's Dead, Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and Freddy vs. Jason. I've seen the first 3 Nightmare on Elm Streets and Freddy vs. Jason. I mean, you know what you're getting. The first one is really good, and Freddy vs. Jason has its moments. I'm hoping to get to the rest of them. I've just recently slowly dipped my toes back into horror, so I'm getting there. And then we have the remake. It's alright. Not the worst, not the best. Something I've seen. A Perfect Murder. This is a solid little crime thriller. Michael Douglas, Paltrow. You got Viggo Mortensen in there. It's solid. It's the same as along the lines of the remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street. It's not the worst you've seen. It's not the best you've seen. It's just there. A River Runs Through It. This is a really good movie. I had liked this movie so much more than I thought I was going to do. Directed by Robert Redford. It's got Brad Pitt in it. It's a really good, like, early 20th century film. I enjoyed it a lot. Series of Unfortunate Events. I don't like this movie. Not a fan of it. And I love Jim Carrey, but that one just didn't hit the mark for me. A Shot in the Dark. This is a Pink Panther movie. Inspector Clouseau, bumbling butt-fucking idiot that he is. I love these movies, though. These ones, I kind of like the Marx Brothers, too. I love slapstick. Comedy is just so funny to me, so those movies really hit their mark for me. And then we have A Simple Plan. This is a Sam Raimi movie. I think right before he did, this is late 90s, so right before he did Spider-Man. Bill Paxton, Billy Bob Thornton. This movie is a really good crime thriller. I did not expect this movie to be like that as good as it is. It's fucking phenomenal. It reminds me a bit of like Fargo, but it's like dark, cold crime thriller. It's very good. You should definitely check it out if you haven't seen the Sam Raimi classic. We've got A Streetcar Named Desire. Marlon Brando, baby. Back when he was a good-looking fucking dude. Look at that guy. It's a solid movie. He's really good in it, but you know, I'll never watch it again. A Time to Kill. This movie is fucking phenomenal. It's probably my favorite Joel Schumacher movie. It's just a great courtroom drama with McConaughey and Sandra Bullock pulling in some really good performances, but Samuel L. Jackson just so good in this movie. Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell. It's fucking phenomenal. A Very Harold and Kumar Christmas. This is my least favorite of the three of them. You can tell that they had definitely worn out their welcome by that point, and they were kind of like at the bottom of the barrel. It does have some funny moments in it, but for the most part, I was tuned out at that point. James Bond, A View to Kill, my least favorite of the Roger Moore ones, but it does have Christopher Walken in it, so that's pretty cool. He helps make it watchable. I think it was at that point you were just like, Roger, we're done with Roger Moore, like it's time to move on. My girlfriend loves this movie, A Walk to Remember. She made me watch it. It's all right. It's not terrible. It's a pretty solid romance movie for what you expect out of those movies. Mandy Moore is really good in it. I just don't really care for that type of movie. Like, I like rom-coms. I don't like serious romance. Like, there's got to be some fun in there. About a boy. I saw this when it first came out. Couldn't tell you anything about it other than I've seen it. I'd say it's due for a rewatch, but don't know if I want to watch that again. About Schmidt. This is another movie I saw when it first came out. It was okay. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I know like this movie gets a lot of really good reviews and people always raving about it. I just think it's okay. I'm not the biggest fan. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. I was so excited for this movie because I had read the book and the book was fucking great. And the movie is garbage. Pure garbage. Absence of Malice. This is a good journalist movie. Sidney Pollack directed. Paul Newman, Sally Field. I like this movie a lot. This was a lot of fun. I guess not fun, just good. But if good movie brings fun, so it kind of is the same thing. Absolute Power. It's so hard to pick a favorite Clint Eastwood movie. This one definitely an argument to be made that it's in the top 10. This is a really good movie. Also introduced me to the writer David Baldacci, who book this movie is based on. It's very good. Gene Hackman, Clint Eastwood. He is a burglar who breaks in and he breaks into a building to steal something. And somebody comes home and he has to hide. And he watches as he's hiding as the president, I think he like rapes and kills this woman. It's fucking intense. Really good movie. You should definitely check it out. I probably butchered it in the way I described it because I haven't seen it in a hot minute, but it's definitely, you should watch it. The Abyss. This is a really good fucking sci-fi movie. I mean, it's James Cameron in sci-fi. Like, what more do you need? We've got Accepted. This is a pretty dumb comedy. Jonah Hill, Justin Long, Blake Lively's in there too. Pretty terrible. I think I watched it like once, never again. The Accidental Tourist, William Hurt, Kathleen Turner, Gina Davis. This is an alright movie. I watched it once. Lawrence Kasdan, I was super excited because I love Lawrence Kasdan, but definitely one of his lesser works. The Accused. This is a really messed up movie. This is all about Jodie Foster getting raped in a bar one night. This is a really tough movie to watch at times, but really freaking good. You got Ace Ventura. Ace Ventura When Nature Calls. I like both of them. I think they're both really funny movies. The first one obviously is the better movie, but when I was a kid I watched the second one so much I could probably recite the entire movie. Can't so much anymore, but the high school me, dear Lord, watch out, he was fucking annoying to be around. Across the Universe, I loved this movie when I first saw it. I still enjoy it, I just haven't really watched it probably since I was obsessed with it in college. This is a really good movie. It's a shame we never got a second one. We've got our Oorah War movie, Act of Valor. This movie's alright. It felt very gimmicky to me when I saw it, but it has its moments. Action Jackson. This is a really silly action movie from the 80s with Carl Weathers. Very silly. I mean, very silly. We got Adaptation, a Charlie Kaufman movie. This movie's alright. I know a lot of people rave about this movie. I am one of the ones who just thinks it's okay. Not really my cup of tea. I get why people really like it. It's definitely very well made. I'm just not the core audience. Addicted. This is from my girlfriend that added into the collection. Again, this is one of the few A movies I haven't seen, and I am in no rush to get to it. Addicted to Love, Matthew Broderick, garbage, just really bad rom-com. The Adjustment Bureau. This is a really good movie. It's much better than I thought it was going to be. I had never seen it until I bought it, but it is a really good sci-fi movie. Definitely check it out if you haven't. Admission. This is a solid little rom-com. Can't go wrong with. You got Tina Fey, Paul Rudd. What's not to like? Adventureland. I like this movie a lot. This movie is a lot of fun. I actually live around the corner from the Adventureland that the guy who wrote and directed this movie worked at and based it on. So, fun fact about that. The Adventures of Pluto Nash. Terrible. Terrible. One of the worst movies I've ever seen. The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle. This is a fun movie. I know it's pretty stupid. I enjoy it. I used to watch it all the time as a kid. This is one of the better live-action cartoon movies that they've made. You've got The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl in 3D. This is a really silly movie. I saw it in theaters when I was a kid, and I was all about it, and bought it and have never watched it since then. Aeon Flux. This is a terrible science fiction movie. I think it's based on like a graphic novel or a video game or something, but whatever it is, it's terrible. The African Queen. This is an incredible movie. Love Humphrey Bogart. Love Katharine Hepburn. It's really freaking good. And for shame, Jungle Cruise for daring to try and ape that movie. After the Sunset. This is a fun little crime thriller. You got a sweet little cast right there. I enjoy this a lot. You should definitely check it out. I saw it when I was younger, and I really enjoyed it. Against All Odds. This is a really good movie. I was not expecting this movie to be this good. I wasn't expecting to get as good of a car chase in this movie as I was expecting. This is a fun little crime thriller movie that you get with Jeff Bridges. James Woods in there also as a really solid movie. Against the Ropes, boxing movie with Meg Ryan and Omar Epps. Terrible. Watched it once, never again. Pretty silly. The Age of Innocence. This is another one in my A's that I have yet to watch. Martin Scorsese, though. Daniel Day-Lewis. One of the few Daniel Day-Lewis movies I haven't seen either, so I definitely got to rectify and watch that soon. Air America. Talked about this in my war movie one. This is a pretty stupid movie, though. The Air I Breathe. This is another movie. Got it because, the wild cast in it. Definitely was not that great. It was just okay. Phenomenal comedy up next with Airheads. This movie, I love this movie. It's another dumb comedy, but it's done comedy that I absolutely love and adore. Definitely check this out if you haven't seen it. It's so good. Brendan Fraser, just the king in that movie. We got Airplane. And Airplane 2, the sequel. The first movie is one of the funniest slapstick, just zany, wacky, one-liners abound comedies that's ever been made. The second one is fucking terrible. We've got Airport, the movie of which Airplane makes fun of. This is actually a really good movie. I was not expecting this movie to be that good, and when I first saw that it was 2 hours and 17 minutes, I was like, oh my god, this is going to be brutal. But it's actually really freaking good. Very tense. I think they made like 5 after that. I've only ever seen and owned the first one now. We got AKEELAH and BEE. This is actually a really good drama movie. I remember I saw it when it first came out when I was younger. I've only ever seen it the one time, but I remember really enjoying it. Maybe it's due for a rewatch. We've got the original Aladdin. We've got Aladdin, The Return of Jafar. And we have Aladdin and the King of Thieves. Obviously, first one, amazing movie. What needs to be said that hasn't already been said? One of the best Disney movies ever made. This one's pretty shitty. This one has its moments. The Alamo. This is a alright war movie. You got a solid cast in it. Definitely could have been better. Definitely could have been worse. It's one of those movies. Not the worst, not the best. I've just seen it. Ugh. Oof. One of the ones that you can call the worst, though, is Alex and Emma with Kate Hudson and Luke Wilson. Pretty terrible movie. Very shocked to see this out of Rob Reiner. Just not great. Alexander. I talked about this in my war movies. It's fucking terrible. Bad movie. Skip it. I don't have the original, but I do have the remake, Alfie with Jude Law. It's an alright romantic comedy. Got a collection of beautiful women there. It's okay. Not the best, not the worst. I've seen it. We've got Alfred Hitchcock Presents, which is like 4 short stories of his, short films. It's alright. It's not great. Definitely not as good as his features, but they have their moments. Ali. Fucking phenomenal. Probably one of Will Smith's best performances. This movie is amazing. One of the last good Michael Mann movies made too. This is just really freaking good movie. Definitely check it out if you are a Will Smith fan. We've got Alice in Wonderland, classic Disney movie right there. We've got the live action Alice in Wonderland. I hate this movie. I don't own the sequel because I never fucking wanted to watch another one of those again. We've got Alien versus Predator. Paul W.S. Anderson. This guy's all over the place. This movie has its moments, not the worst. The sequel, Alien vs. Predator Requiem. I like this better than the first one. It's still pretty stupid, but at least it has its moments, and you get to watch aliens and predators just fuck up a bunch of dumbass kids. So it's got its moments. All About Eve, one of my favorite movies of all time. It's in my top 100. I fucking love this movie. It is such a good old school black and white movie. Great drama. Definitely check it out if you haven't. All About Steve, one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Just god awful. All Dogs Go to Heaven. Love this movie as a kid. I actually haven't seen it in a long time. I should definitely check it out again. Don't have the second one, so definitely going to have to rectify that at some point. All the President's Men. This is an alright movie. I'm definitely in the minority. I don't like it as much as everyone built it up. I think it was definitely probably overhyped for me by the time I finally watched it. It's not terrible. The performances are really good in it. It's just that it's one of those tropes that, I'm sure when it first came out, it was phenomenal because that movie hadn't been made so much. But when you've seen so many of those types of movies that by the time I got to the originator of it, I just it's yeah, all right, I've seen that 1,000 times. But still very well made. All the Pretty Horses, another one of the few A movies I haven't seen. Definitely need to check this out at some point. It looks all right. We got All the Right Moves with Tom Cruise, baby. This is a really silly, over-the-top soap opera style football movie. Definitely a good performance from him that showed just how far he was going to go. We've got Almost Heroes. This is a really dumb comedy, but I fucking love it. Chris Farley's last movie. Along Came a Spider. It's a solid little thriller. Not the worst, not the best. Grab the next little pile here. We've got Along Came Polly. This movie cracks me up. It's stupid, but Philip Seymour Hoffman in this is so fucking funny. I die every time, so I could always watch that movie again. Alpha Dog. Saw this in theaters. I actually really enjoyed it when I saw it in theaters, and then never watched it ever again. So I definitely need to do a rewatch because there's a pretty solid cast in there. Always, I just watched this as part of my A to Z movie challenge. I will reserve my thoughts for that video, but that's a movie we have in the collection. Amadeus, this movie is fucking so good. There's a reason why it's the winner of 8 Academy Awards. It's because it's amazing. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. The Amazing Spider-Man. It's okay. It's not terrible. That one's not terrible. At least it's not as bad as the second one. But I'm definitely not the biggest fan of those Spider-Man movies. Amelia, about Amelia Earhart, with Hilary Swank, Richard Gere. It's okay. Not great. Not great, but not the worst movie I've seen. American Beauty, freaking incredible movie. Again, we come back to the man, Kevin Spacey, horrible person, but goddamn it, was that man a good actor. You fucking son of a bitch, Kevin. American Dreams. This was an okay movie. It was kind of like an American Idol style competition, I believe it was. But hey, you got Dennis Quaid as the president, so fucking hell yeah, let's do it. We got the American Gangster. This fucking movie is the extended edition with the version's almost 3 hours long. This movie's so fucking good. I fucking love it. It is. Russell Crowe is amazing in it. Denzel Washington. Early role by Idris Elba. Chiwetel Ejiofor, I think, is in there also. It's just such a good fucking movie. Oy, more piles to grab. American Graffiti. I'm not as enamored with this movie as other people are. It's certainly solid. Yeah, it's one of those. It just wasn't for me, but it was still enjoyable. American History X is a really fucked up movie. Really good though. Definitely a movie you should watch. It is very troubling at times to sit through that movie, but it is really fucking good. American Hustle. It's a movie that should be a slam dunk. It's got a fucking fantastic cast made by David O. Russell, but I didn't like it. I wasn't a fan. Then I only saw it once in theaters and was not the fan, so maybe I do have to rewatch it and see if maybe it's gotten any better. American Outlaws is a really terrible Western. We've got the cult classic American Pie, although I don't know if it's a cult classic. Everybody loved this movie. Although the teens of the new generation are not fans with this movie. One that, if you weren't a fan of the first one, you won't be this one either. American Pie 2. I actually like the second one more than I like the first one. I think them hanging out at the summer cottage and everything and partying up is a really funny and gets a lot of good mileage out of it. Had a lot of good funny moments for me. We've got The American President. I freaking love this movie. It's a really good freaking movie. You got Rob Reiner directed, written by Aaron Sorkin, Michael Douglas, and Annette Bening. My God, did they have chemistry. Great movie. American Psycho. This movie is fucking wild. Christian Bale is a fucking nutcase in this movie. It is so freaking good. And then we got American Reunion. This was probably, I don't know if I like this one or Wedding more, because Wedding and Reunion are the ones that I've watched the least. I think I've only seen them each once. But I remember enjoying this movie, not thinking it was terrible. And then hot on the heels is American Wedding, which has a lot of really funny moments in it. Stifler in it especially has a lot of really good gems in it. This one's probably a little bit less for me just because they didn't ask some of the cast to come back, so they didn't have all the cast in it, so that kind of like took away from it for me a little bit. America's Sweethearts. This is a fine little rom-com. Billy Crystal, Julia Roberts, Catherine Zeta-Jones, John Cusack. It's fine. Amistad. This is a really good Steven Spielberg movie. It's everything about this movie. It's powerful. It is tough to watch at times. Anthony Hopkins delivers fucking one of the greatest speeches ever known to man to be put on film. And Yaman Hunso is just fucking incredible in that movie. The original Amityville Horror. It's another one of the A movies I've yet to see. I'm still dipping my toes back into horror, so I'll get to that one eventually. In A Fair to Remember, I fucking love this movie. Cary Grant is just a goddamn treasure. That man, he had fucking charisma for days. His voice was just so silky smooth, too. Like, oh my God, you could fall asleep listening to that man. American Tail. It has both movies, the original and Fievel Goes West. They're solid movies. I liked them a lot when I was a kid. I haven't really watched them ever since then, so. An American Werewolf in London. This movie is fucking wild. It has such good special effects for its time, and the last like half hour of this movie is just balls to the walls insanity. When he breaks out of the fucking cinema, it is just insane. Like so much more violent than I thought it was going to be. An Officer and a Gentleman. This is a solid drama movie. Definitely a good career maker for Richard Gere. It's solid. Not like my favorite one, but I enjoyed it. Anaconda, one of my favorite creature feature movies. This movie is so much better than it has any right being. And I think it's entirely due to just how good the special effects work is. Like that they didn't rely on all like the CGI in the later one just looks so terrible, whereas this one like it just has the perfect usage of the snake. It's really good. I really enjoy this movie. It's one of the better B movies out there. And then the only other Anaconda movie I have is the second one, because I also saw this one in theaters. This one's pretty fucking stupid. Not as terrible as the later ones got, as I would assume. I haven't seen any of the other later ones, but I imagine from this point on, it very much follows the Jaws trajectory of where it's like, first movie really good, and the rest just dive bomb right off a cliff. I gotta grab more movies. We're chugging along. We're getting there. We've got Analyze This and Analyze That. These movies are freaking phenomenal. The first one, I love the first one a bit more than the second one, but both of them are like pretty on par with each other for them. The movies just crack me up. Anastasia with Ingrid Bergman and Yul Brynner. This movie is pretty solid. I like this movie a lot. Yul Brynner especially is really good in it. And then, of course, you've got the animated Anastasia. My girlfriend showed me this movie. It's all right. It's cute. Anatomy of a Murder. This movie is such a good courtroom drama. James Stewart is phenomenal in it. Gives a great speech in it. It is fucking. I love that movie. Anchorman. Oh, this movie was so fun. I remember seeing this movie in theaters and just being blown away by how funny it is. It's still fucking hilarious to this day. It's still so quoted by people today. It's probably one of the most essential comedies of the 21st century. And Then There Were None. This is an alright little movie. Not the worst, not the best. Angela's Ashes. This is a pretty tough movie to watch at times. Depression era movie. It's solid. I like it. We got Angels and Demons, the sequel to the Da Vinci Code. This is my least favorite of the Tom Hanks, Ron Howard, Da Vinci Code trilogy movies. But it's alright. It's got Ewan McGregor in it, so it elevates it at least a little bit. We got Angels in the Outfield, a great 90s Disney movie. Just fucking so wholesome and enjoyable. Gave us JGL. It's great. Anger Management, one of the better late tier Adam Sandler movies. Him playing off of Jack Nicholson, and that movie has a lot of funny moments in it. Anna Karenina, not that great. Not a great old movie. I watched it once, never watched it again. Annapolis, it's alright. Not the worst, not the best. Annie Hall, I am probably one of the few people that fucking hate Woody Allen. And it has nothing to do with him personally. I know, even though him personally is a fucking terrible person, I was never really a big fan of his movies anyway, or at least his old movies. Like some of his later ones, like Match Point, and those like are like not terrible, but I was never a fan of Annie Hall. Anonymous. This is a really fucking weird movie. This movie is not afraid to go out there, and I appreciate it for it. It's worth watching just for how fucking bizarre that movie gets later on in its ending. It's wild, trust me. Antitrust. Speaking of trust, Antitrust. This is a really terrible like 2000s like cyber thriller. It's really bad. We get Antoine Fisher. This is a Denzel Washington directed movie with Derek Luke, based on freaking Antoine Fisher's story. I think he even wrote this movie too. This is a really good movie. It's a very solid drama. I enjoyed it a lot when I ended up watching it. Any Given Sunday, fucking god, this is a fucking over-the-top movie. All about football, directed by Oliver Stone. This movie is wild. Gave us A Locker Room Full of Football Cock, so that's a movie right there in and of itself. ANTZ. This came out the same year as A Bug's Life. I like A Bug's Life more, but this movie is probably the more peculiar and batshit crazy of the two. Like the ants go to war in the movie. It is fucking wild. Definitely worth watching. The Apartment, one of my favorite Billy Wilder movies. This is such a good fucking movie. Oh man, Jack Lemmon, she was fucking gem. Apocalypse Now, talked about this movie in my war section. Not the biggest fan of this movie. Apocalypto. This is a really good fucking movie. It is. I actually haven't seen it since it first came out, so I definitely gotta watch this again. But this is I remember it being fucking wild. Appaloosa. This is a solid little western. You know, you got your Vigo, you got your Ed Harris. It's not terrible. It was directed by Ed Harris also. Aquamarine. Terrible girlfriend's movie. I saw it once, never again. The Aristocats, classic Disney. You can't go wrong. Armageddon. Great movie. This is a dumb movie. I know it's a dumb movie, but it's one of those movies that I just fucking love. It just hits all the right buttons for me. It's just a great turn your brain off and enjoy movie. And it makes sense because one of the writers is J.J. Abrams. Armored. Is a pretty terrible action movie. Not great. Thought it was going to be good, but it's big cast, but it's actually pretty fucking terrible. We got Around the World in 80 Days with Jackie Chan. I saw this when I was a kid. I remember it being alright. Never saw it again since then. The Art of War with Wesley Snipes. One of his worst ones. I'm not the biggest fan of that one. Arthur. I am not the biggest Dudley Moore fan. This movie did not hit the mark for me. AI, Artificial Intelligence. It's a solid Spielberg movie. Another one, following with the themes. I'm not the biggest fan of this one. It's alright, but compared to Spielberg's other works, just wasn't that big of a fan. The Artist, this movie was not, I don't know how it got all, like, this was a movie that just felt like Hollywood just tugging on itself, like, oh, it's a movie about movies, oh, it's a movie about movies. I didn't like it. Movie I did like, As Good as It Gets. Fucking Jack Nicholson, Helen Hunt, Greg Kinnear, everyone in this movie is really good. This is a really good drama movie. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. I talked about this in my westerns. Great movie, hate the title, but Brad Pitt's phenomenal in it. Assassins. This is a really good movie. This showed how they were going to go on to do The Matrix and how they were just perfect for doing action. They are phenomenal filmmakers, and I'm very looking forward to the next Matrix movie. Ooh, chugging along. We're almost done with the DVD pile. And then we could fly through the Blu-rays, 4Ks, and Steelbooks. We got Assault on Precinct 13. This is the remake. I don't have the original. I want to get the original because I do want to watch it. I saw this twice in theaters because, you know, Teenage TJ was a big fan of this. Never seen it since I saw it in theaters, so I couldn't tell you if adult TJ is also a fan of it. The Astronaut Farmer. This was a pretty dumb little drama movie. Not a big fan of that one. We got At Close Range, Sean Penn, Christopher Walken. This was a solid little thriller. Not the worst, not the best. At First Sight, looks like a rom-com, Val Kilmer, Mira Sorvino. Haven't seen it yet, but I definitely want to give it a shot. Atlantis, The Lost Empire. This is a very underrated Disney movie. One of the few Disney movies I would actually be okay with them making a live-action remake of. So, Disney, actually do that one. Stop with your Lion Kings. Do the Atlantis. Atonement. This is a fucking phenomenal war movie. I love this movie. Joe Wright directed. James McAvoy, Keira Knightley, Saoirse Ronan. This movie is so good. We got August, Osage County, based on the play. Never seen the play. I don't like going to see Broadway plays, but goddamn did I enjoy this movie. The dialogue in this movie is phenomenal. Let's move those out of the way. We have the last pile of DVD movies. Let's bang it right through. August Rush. This is a solid little movie about music. Not the worst, not the best. We've got Austin Powers. We've got The Spy Who Shagged Me, and we've got Austin Powers in Goldmember. I fucking love all three of these movies. I don't care if you say Goldmember is the worst of the three, doesn't matter. All three of them are so fucking funny to me. I love all three of them. They've all got their fucking great jokes in them. Australia, um, 2/3 of this movie is really solid, and then it goes on for way too long after that. But it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. We've got Avatar. I fucking love Avatar. This movie is so good. Still to this day blows my mind that people hate on this movie. Yeah, but bro, it's just Pocahontas meets Dances with Wolves in space. Yeah. What part of that doesn't sound cool to you? What? This movie's amazing. And I can't wait for the rest of them. Never count James Cameron out. That man, I completely have faith in him that 2, 3, 4, 5, however many of them that he's doing, they're all going to be fucking amazing. And he added Kate Winslet's Avatar too, so that's all I need to know to go see it. The Avengers, not the Marvel Avengers. The Avengers that is based off of a British show, I think it was. Not that it matters, because this movie is god-awful. The Aviator. This is a fucking phenomenal Martin Scorsese movie. Leonardo DiCaprio is especially so good in it. I was very surprised that he did not win for this movie, because he is fucking so good in this movie. Cate Blanchett, Kate Beckinsale. There's a lot of supporting actors that show up in this movie. It's a really good movie about Howard Hughes, right? I was about to say Howard Hawke, but that was a director. This is about Howard Hughes, the industrialist. Two different people. And finally, the last of the DVD pile is Awakenings with Robert De Niro, Robin Williams. I actually just picked this up not too long ago, so I have yet to get a chance to watch this one. But I'm definitely looking forward to it, because any movie with Robin Williams is a movie that I want to see. But that does it for the DVD pile. Let's roll into our Blu-rays, 4Ks, and Steelbooks. All right, hold on now, people. We almost there. We're getting there now. We almost there. Starting us off is Perfect World. Clint Eastwood directed, Kevin Costner. This is a solid movie about Kevin Costner, as I think he's like racing to the Texas border to get like away from the cops, and he has this kid as a hostage. I like that movie. It was enjoyable. A Simple Favor. This is a really good thriller with two phenomenal actresses in Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively. It's also got my man Henry Golding in it. This is a really solid one. Definitely flew in under the radar when it came out, so you should check it out if you haven't. The A-Team. This is actually way better than it has any right being. This movie is a lot of fun, very action-heavy, very light too. I'm surprised that it didn't get a sequel, but I guess it didn't do well at the box office, because I actually didn't see it in theaters. I didn't see it until way down the line. A Walk Among the Tombstones. This is a solid little crime thriller. Not the best, not the worst. Ooh. We'll cut all that out. About Last Night. This is a fun little 80s rom-com. Solid little cast there. The Accountant. This is actually a really good movie. Fuck you, Best Buy, for your goddamn stickers there. I like this movie a lot, though. Ben Affleck, especially, really good in that movie. Ace in the Hole. I actually just picked this up when the Criterion sale was going on, because it's a Billy Wilder movie, and I love my man Billy Wilder. I have yet to get a chance to check this one out, though, but I will definitely be watching this one soon. Ad Astra. This was a really good sci-fi movie. It's definitely, it's a very slow burn, so if you don't like slow burns, this is not the one for you. But I love all things sci-fi, so I was all about that movie. Aftermath. This movie's terrible. Oh, such a misuse of Schwarzenegger. Hi. Grab more off the pile. The Age of Adeline. This is a very, it's a pretty solid romance movie with a sci-fi twist in it, which helped make it more watchable for me. Harrison Ford, phenomenal in it. Blake Lively puts in a really good performance. I actually like that movie. It's very decent. Ain't Them Bodies Saints. This is a solid little Western movie. Not the worst, not the best. The live-action remake of Aladdin. It has a few moments of charm for me, but I hate it otherwise. Fuck you, Disney, for that. You bastards. We've got All the Money in the World. This turned out to be a pretty good movie. And again, even though he's a fucking terrible person, I want to see the Spacey cut of this movie because, like, oh my god, I just know he would have been like so good as that villain because he's a villain in real life. Allied. This was an alright war movie. Talked more about it at my war film collection, so it's about as much as I'm going to go into it on here. We've got The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I hate this movie, but I really do like this case. This has got this really cool case here. Case is better than the fucking movie. American Made. This is a great fucking Tom Cruise movie. I like this movie a lot. It reminds me a lot of Blow with Johnny Depp. This is a fun movie for me. I liked it a lot. American Sniper. One of my lesser favorite of the Clint Eastwood directed movies. It's not terrible. Bradley Cooper, right? Yeah, Bradley. I was about to say, is his name Bradley Cooper? He's good in the movie, but it definitely wasn't one of my favorites. Anchorman 2. This is pretty terrible. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I do love the fight scene in it, though, just because they went so over the top and balls to the walls crazy with it. But other than that, there was really no need for the sequel. Angel Has Fallen. At this point, it just got tired. I like the other two. This one, not so much. And the Angry Birds movie. This movie actually turned out to be better than I thought it was going to be. It had like a lot of funny gags in it, and I actually really enjoyed it. We've got Annabelle Creation, the second in the Annabelle movies. This is the only one that I've actually seen. And horror movies, when I'm high, scare the shit out of me. This movie scared the shit out of me. Annihilation. This is a really good fucking movie. I was so pumped for this movie that when it was coming out, that when I saw it was a book, I was like, I'm going to read the book first. And I ended up absolutely hating the book, and it made me so nervous for this movie. But I should never count Alex Garland out because that man knows story structure, and he knew how to make a good movie out of that fucking nonsensical book. We got Ant-Man. That's a fun little, it's about in the middle tier of Marvel for me. I do enjoy that movie. It cracks me up because Paul Rudd is the man. And the same goes for Ant-Man and the Wasp. Those two are probably about on par with each other for me. They're like very similar in style and flavor and taste and everything. So they sit comfortably against each other. Antebellum. Picked this one up because obviously it was one of the movies that skipped out on a theatrical release from 2020. Always wanted to catch it. Have yet to watch it though, but I'll get there. Argo, fuck yourself. That's all I gotta say about that movie. Army of Darkness. This is a fun fucking movie. The special effects in this movie, like the stop motion animation of like the skeletons and shit, cracking me up. I fucking love it. Arrival, one of Denis Villeneuve's best. This is fucking sci-fi at its absolute peak. I fucking love this movie. The Astronaut's Wife. This is a pretty terrible science fiction movie. Johnny Depp and Charlize Theron are pretty good in it. It's just the story is kind of nonsense. Atomic Blonde, a really good fucking Charlize Theron movie. Pretty much turning her into the female John Wick, and it works wonders because this movie is really fucking good. Ava. This is a movie that came out on Netflix, I think late last year. It's not terrible. It's pretty solid. It has its moments. I could definitely continue to watch Jessica Chastain kick some major ass because she's fucking phenomenal. So it hits the mark on that end. And then the last two in our Blu-ray pile is Avengers Age of Ultron and Avengers Infinity War. Age of Ultron's alright. This is a movie that broke Josh Whedon. And now looking back on it, thank God it did because fuck that guy is a horrible human being. And Avengers Infinity War. This movie is really fucking good. Just phenomenally good. It's amazing that movie works as well as it does, considering how many moving parts it has to like balance. It's an absolutely amazing testament to the writers and directors of that movie. A couple 4Ks. We've got Air Force One. Get off my plane. Movie's fucking amazing. Who knew we needed Harrison Ford as the President of the United States? But we did. We've got the original Alien. This is a fucking phenomenal movie. Love this movie. It's really freaking good. Looks amazing in 4K also. Alita, Battle Angel. This is a solid movie. I enjoyed it. Definitely wasn't as terrible as I thought it was going to be. Not as amazing as some people make it out to be. But it definitely was pretty good. I would watch a sequel on it. And it had Mahershala Ali in it, baby. Bring me the one they call Alita. We got Apollo 13. Great fucking science fiction movie. Science fiction movie. It is late. I need to go to bed. This is a historical movie. This shit happened. Amazing cast in it. It's so good. I fucking love that movie. It looks amazing in 4K also. And then finally, the original Avengers, the one that started it all. This movie is so much fun. It's a movie that, again, works better than it should, bringing together all these moving parts, but it all flowed so well together, and it's just phenomenal. And then before we get to our steelbooks, we have the Alien quadrilogy, which contains the first Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, and Alien Resurrection. The first two movies are both absolutely incredible, perfect films. The second two sequels, Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection, are god-awful. Some of the worst sequels ever put to film. And lastly, we have our steelbooks. We've got A Quiet Place. We've got A Quiet Place Part 2. These movies are very much on par for each other for me. They are both absolutely incredible. I think I like the first one a little bit more, just because I really love the ending of the first one. The whole scene with her trying to give birth quietly while the creatures are stalking about the house and the farm is just so absolutely tense. But I love the second one for its coming-of-age story, where the kids finally become these adults and learn to just kick some major ass. They're just absolutely incredible. I love both of those. Give me a third one, John. Like, you got to come back. You got to just finish it out. Give me a third. I need it. We've got A Star is Born. This is a really good fucking movie. Way better than I thought it was going to be. Bradley Cooper is amazing in it. Lady Gaga is amazing in it. They just have such good chemistry. It was funny. My girlfriend was reading a BuzzFeed article the other day about stars who had no chemistry in their movies, and they had the balls to say that these two didn't have any chemistry, when for months after this movie came out, all anyone could talk about was, are these two fucking in real life? So that was funny to me. Almost Famous, one of my favorite movies of all time. It's in my top 100. It's about following a journalist, a young kid journalist who follows a rock and roll band in the 70s. It is just so freaking good, based on Cameron Crowe's experiences himself, going around with Led Zeppelin. And to anyone who knows me knows Led Zeppelin is my favorite band, so this movie just hits me right in the sweet spot. We've got Animal House. Another movie that people would say today is very problematic, and it does have definitely its moments of problems, but again, it's a dumbass comedy that's supposed to have dumbass people doing dumbass things, so it is what it is. I do love the whole ending of that movie, though. It's just very silly with their pranks and shit. Aquaman, definitely one of the better DC movies they've put out. This movie is a lot of fun. It has an octopus playing drums. Like, fuck yeah, that's all I need to know. Very excited for the sequel. And fuck Amber Heard. And then lastly, we have Avengers Endgame. Probably the craziest Marvel movie, one of the craziest superhero movies, one of the craziest movies in general that's ever been put out. Like, there'll probably never be a movie like this ever again. It is insane that it works as well as it does. It's got time travel. Fucking love time travel. It's got a balls-to-the-wall, crazy-ass ending. It is definitely a one-of-a-kind movie. And those are my A's. That was a shit ton of movies, but we did it. We got through it. We made it. Join us next time for when we move on to the bees. Hopefully I'll drop that at some point this week if I get the time. If not, look for it next week or whenever I get around to doing it. I just have so much shit going on that who knows when I get the chance to do these. It's always late at night. My brain's all foggy. I'm making all these weird, crazy shit. I'm losing my mind, and now I gotta go to bed. So for all of us here at the Avengers Outpost, you see, I need to go to sleep. From all of us here at the Adventure Outpost, take care. Enjoy your day, your night, whatever time it is when you're watching this. Just go out, enjoy yourself, and adventure on.